The opinions expressed in the following paid program do not necessarily represent those of WJZ AM 1300, CBS Radio, its employees and sponsors.
This is head women's lacrosse coach Kathy Reese, and you're listening to Terp Talk with Bruce Posner.
This is Coons Ford Terp Talk with Bruce Posner. 60 minutes of Maryland athletics and your phone calls at 410-481-1300. Now, here's Bruce Posner and Terp Talk.
There it is. Clock is wound down. The Maryland Terrapins, for the 6th year in a row, 11th overall, are Atlantic Coast Conference women's lacrosse champs. Final score, 13-7.
Had to start off with a positive note because it's a downer today. Besides, it's horrendous weather. And I tell you, if you're around Falls Road, stay away because it is an absolute mess. All right. Parts of Falls Road are closed and just be careful. Just come about it another way. But it's not a pretty picture. So everybody out there drive safely as the downpour continues. Yeah, hey, hats off to the women's lacrosse team winning their 6th straight ACC championship, and it sure looks like they're on their way to the Final Four and perhaps another national championship. What a tremendous job Kathy Reese has done. But let's change fields. We're going to talk about that later on. We had some interviews, not by me, but by the networks with the Kathy and Tara Cummings. So we'll talk a little lacrosse later on. We'll talk about Maryland, Notre Dame, the disappointment there. But breaking potential news out of College Park today, and I would be remiss if I did not mention it, and I have to mention it, and that is there are strong rumors that both Seth Allen and Charles Mitchell are considering leaving the program. And when you combine that, is that Wayne on the phone? Okay, let me get my buddy Wayne Viner from Washington. Wayne, I just said there are rumors, and they're not casual type rumors. It's all over the websites that Seth and Charles Mitchell are considering leaving the program. Mark Turgeon denied it, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That is correct, and I know that you stay far away from rumors because when there are rumors, you don't really know what's going on. But, yeah, this is too big to ignore right now.
No, you can't ignore this. This is a major story, and a story that would be really damaging to the University of Maryland's basketball team next year, should Seth Allen leave especially. But people forget, and again, we have no evidence or no proof that they're leaving. We really don't know as a fact, and I really don't believe it till I see a signed release come out. And I know that Mark Turgeon has denied it, but that would be, if it would happen, that would be 4 or 5 players, if I'm not mistaken, all of whom except Faust that Mark Turgeon brought in.
Sure, and I think Faust goes on somebody he brought in. He closed the recruiting process on him. But Seth Allen and Nick Faust were the biggest recruits he got at one point, along with Shaquille Clear. Now, Shaq signed up with Texas. Faust signed with Oregon State today. But if the rumors prove to be true, that's about 43% of the offense from last year is gone. And it's a lot for freshmen to come in and take over. Now, we've got 5-star freshman, the DC Player of the Year. We got Dion Wiley, who's a DC All-Met, and certainly some other big guys. The news on Michael Tchaikovsky is that he's going to have his letter of intent signed. So in the front court, you're going to have Trayvon Reed, Tchaikovsky. You're probably going to see a lot more minutes. Now I suddenly can't remember his name.
DeMonte Dodd.
DeMonte Dodd, correct. So, you know, if Mitchell doesn't come back, you can understand that. Seth Allen, to me, is an absolute head-scratcher.
I don't understand it. I mean, the only thing that I can think of, I read what Keith Cavanaugh said in TerrapinTimes.com, and maybe he feels he needs to play the point, and Turge probably is thinking about moving him to the 2 and leaving Melo at the point. I mean, I can't think of any other reason that he would want to leave because the guy plays unlimited minutes. I mean,
as long as he's healthy, he's on the floor, he's got the ball in his hands, and you're probably looking for him to score 20 points a year next year. So boy, it escapes me why you'd want to leave at this point. Plus, the program now, even though there's been some ups and downs, I'd say is on the upswing.
Well, listen,
the news came out.
We don't ever like to say, well, when three guys like that leave, that left Peters and Faust and Shaq clear, it's never a good thing. But with the depth that they should have this year, the way the team sits now, I got to tell you, I felt better about this team than I have in a long, long time, especially when it comes to that key word, which is chemistry. That there could be some very strong chemistry next year, something that's been lacking on this team. And I am just, I'm shocked that Seth Allen would want to leave. I mean, Mitchell, I can't read into that. There's another guy, maybe he sees he might be not getting as much playing time, or, he did have that situation with Spinelli this year. But I am just very, very surprised at what's going on, and yet nothing's happened. And that's important to say, that nobody has, gotten a release yet. We don't know if they've even been asked for. But when you hear things sometimes of this nature, sometimes they turn out to be true. Would you agree?
I would agree, but the guys who run those informational sites like Scott Green and Keith Kavanaugh both said that there's something to this. So when both of those guys, and that's from scouts and from rivals, says it's something there, the student newspaper, I think, has a piece on it. Testudo Times has a piece on it. Everybody's got this story. It might be that there's a story today and both the guys decide to stay. And, if that's what's best for them, boy, I hope they stay around because I've grown to really like both of them. But as you say, that stuff's not up to us. All we can do is discuss the ramifications. And
look, we have to remember this. Let's look at it both ways. Let's hope they both stay. And then, we've been very upbeat, very positive about next year with this team. It certainly seems like a tournament team to me. It better be a tournament team. Let's say they leave. Well, right now, Wayne, there's over 400 transfers out there. All right? 400 potential transfers. And there's quite a few senior or fifth-year guys like Logan Ehrenhold.
Right.
So, that's what the team's going to consist of. Wells, Lehman, the freshmen, and some transfers. And, it's not the same thing as having solid depth with Allen and Mitchell. And I don't care what anybody says about whether or not they like either one. Certainly, these guys can play, and Mitchell has had his moments that have been very, very strong. He's a guy who would get a lot of minutes. I can't believe it when I heard it today. When you called me up, because I hadn't, I was working, and I don't sit there and stare at Terrapin Times all day. But when you called me up, to say it, I thought you were like kidding me. I thought you were going to say May Fools or something. But
no, boy, this one got to me. You said that some of this stuff really, really gets to you, and I've been, well, it's a team. It's not up to us. But when I saw Seth Allen, it's one of those, your heart sort of sinks on that because it really got my hopes, and I live and die with this team. And yeah, if it was Mitchell and everybody knew he got in a thing with Spinelli, as you said, and Juan Dixon had to bring him back on the court. But Seth Allen, I didn't know there were any problems there.
No, I didn't. I never, ever heard that. I heard rumors about everybody, but I never heard. That's Turgeon's guy. That was Turgeon's first guy that he got to come to Maryland.
Yeah.
He had recruited him for years. That's why I was like really flabbergasted about that. And I sure hope it's... Go ahead.
Sorry to talk over. He was supposed to go to Texas A&M before Turgeon came here. He was recruiting him before, not for Maryland, but for Texas A&M. When he changed, comes the first big recruit, and there was somebody else that Maryland was after, one of the guards that went to Pittsburgh. There was Sterling Gibbs that we took this guy over. Sterling Gibbs ended up at Seton Hall, but one way or the other, this was a big move for Turgeon, the first big recruit that was solidly his.
I'll tell you something that's funny, because you'll find it funny. I was pretty upset about Maryland's loss to Notre Dame the other night. Would you say that?
Oh, absolutely.
And
The cross game, yeah.
I mean, I was just besides myself over that game because it was a game that Maryland should have won, and they didn't play well offensively. And I really feel that in the fourth quarter they got jobbed out of the victory. It was just one call after another went against them, and the phantom call, Michael Earhart, when the Terps were up by one and had the ball. I'm going to talk about this later. I don't think I could get as upset as I was last night until I heard this today. I mean,
well, you were pretty upset on Saturday morning because Maryland lost their game on Friday night. You brought up 3 big calls that Lord knows where they came from and really helped to do Maryland in. And you were, So to add this on top of it, God, it's just, to me, it's horrible news. And you never know how this stuff turns out, and maybe there is a fifth-year guard out there. We needed guard help, we being the Maryland basketball team, needed guard help before these rumors surfaced. So this just makes the need of a solid backup point guard even more pressing.
Yeah, it's distressing if this is the case, and it does happen. I sure hope it doesn't, and I'm sure hope if they're thinking about it, that Turgeon's able to talk them out of it. But what's going to be is going to be. It's nothing. They make up their minds today. It's getting almost ridiculous that for reasons that are unbeknownst, guys just decide they're going to leave, and it's not just happening in Maryland.
No, but I understood. Not to rehash, but I understand why Faust left. I have a pretty good idea why Peters left. I understand Clear didn't work out, but we're talking about guys who did work out. Now, on April 21st, Seth Allen posted on Twitter about 15 pairs of his Maryland shoes and wrote under that picture, and I think I sent that picture to you, Bruce, that it was just time to get rid of all this stuff and move on. And it looked like what he meant was he was cleaning out his closet. A lot of people brought that picture up and read into it that was foreshadowing of him being really unhappy and getting ready to move on. And so this might have been boiling up a little before it actually became public.
All right, well, we'll let it rest. And, of course, check out TerpTalk.com, a site that Wayne has done so much tremendous work on. We'll have all the updates that I can find tonight. I know I'll be up late searching for stuff about it. But I have to tell you, it hit me like a rock in the back of the head. I basically still don't believe it, but I guess where there's smoke, there's fire sometimes. But let's hope that Turgeon can turn this around and keep Seth Allen. Seth Allen would be you don't find people like that, as part of your team that knows the system and knows his plays, and there's no learning process. And to bring in freshmen, all freshmen to try and learn Turgeon's system, it's not that easy. It really isn't that easy. And go ahead.
I guess not, but the only solace one can take is now everybody's pointing to Tony Bennett at Virginia, who went through a similar thing where he lost 6 of his first recruits who moved on until he got the right mix of people. There aren't that many guys in the coaching business to get 2 full redos. Turgeon loaded up with a bunch of 4- and 5-star recruits a couple of years ago. This is the second group of those recruits. I'm sure they're going to be on the court a lot, and I just hope that he's chosen well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, look, it sure seems like Trimble's a lock, if there is such a thing. The other guys, nobody calls them locks, all right? None of them. And Wiley and Nickens, and they're all supposed to be good, and Trayvon Reed and Sikowski. Sikowski sounds like he might be somewhat of a lock from what I hear from what NBA scouts think about him. But it's just tough to start all over again and without the most top talent yet you can get. And it's not the case here. But look, it's going to come into the hands of Des Wells and Jake Layman. They're going to be the leaders of the team if this happens. But I sit here in disbelief that Seth Allen's going to leave. So I'm not going to believe it until I see it and see it in writing or whatever. I really would be upset if that happens. He just is, I think as the year went on, his sophomore year, he got better and better. He really hasn't been injury-free. And I guess we'll just see how it plays out, Wayne.
I guess so. One of the best things about you is your ultimate Trumpism, so it's completely consistent for you not to believe any of this still actually happens.
No, I do. I only see the right stuff for Maryland and can never envision why somebody would want to leave in the position that Mitchell and Seth Allen are in. Wayne, before you go, tell us about Viner Consulting.
Well, thanks. Viner Consulting's been up and down the East Coast putting in point-of-sale retail systems for small businesses. If you have a small business that isn't turning the numbers that you need to be successful, we can help you with inventory control and great software and hardware from NCR and from Microsoft. And give me a call at 301-251-2900 or on the internet at makeyourcompanywork.com. Back to you, Bruce.
And I will tell everybody out there that Wayne, take a look at TerpTalk.com and you'll see what Wayne can do. If your internet is not working for you, call Viner Consulting. Wayne, thanks a lot, my friend.
Thank you. See you on Saturday.
You got it. All right. This is Bruce Posner. You're listening to CBS Sports Radio 1300. And we shall be back in a few moments.
The commute is as brake-lit, congested, and flooded as you would expect. This report is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Want to focus on some of the incidents that are getting in your way, the severe ones, like on the BW Parkway, where there's the crash with a rollover southbound near 695. The right lane's blocked, the commute coming to a stop from 648. Roadway closure, just one of multiple throughout the area, dozens really. But flooding has 29 South and Columbia blocked off from 175 to Broken Land. The commute coming to a halt. They'll need to be rerouted around that scene. You have a mudslide affecting travelers and shutting down eastbound 40 near the Patapsco State Park. The biggest issue, Charles Village, 26th, for the roadway that collapsed off Charles. Farmers Insurance believes that the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. To find your local agent and get smarter about your insurance, call 888-96-FARMERS. That's 888-96-FARMERS. I'm Liz Dravic with traffic, CBS Sports Radio, 1300.
There are 3 new reasons to become a member of the Maryland Zoo with 12 tiny paws. Spend a whole year getting close to the new lion cubs, new giraffes, and a herd of other new additions, including a brand new penguin exhibit opening this fall. Enjoy 12 months of unlimited zoo visits and a gaggle of discounts, like 25% off all guest passes. Have a wild year for less than the cost of 2 visits. Become a member today at marylandzoo.org/join. See lion cubs and so much more this spring as a member of the Maryland Zoo.
Kelly Exchange is your one-stop shop for individual and family health insurance coverage. On kellyexchange.com, you can learn about healthcare reform, find out if you qualify for a subsidy, get quotes, compare insurance plans, and purchase coverage. With over 36 years of experience in the insurance industry, kellyexchange.com is the only website you need to help you navigate the complexities and confusion of healthcare reform and purchase quality insurance for you and your family. Visit kellyexchange.com today.
My name is Mark Apple, and I'm a consumer bankruptcy attorney with Waldman, Grossfeld, Apple, and Bear. If you're afraid of losing your home, you're afraid of wages being garnished, call me, 410-437-7711, extension 4, and you'll get to my desk. We have offices located all around the Baltimore Beltway. Call me, Mark Apple, 410-437-7711, extension 4.
No one likes lawyers until they need one. But if you've dealt with an insurance company, you know that you're not in good hands, they're not good neighbors, and they're not on your side. I'm Mike Grossfeld. At Waldman, Grossfeld, Apple, and Bear, we've been protecting the rights of people for over 40 years. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, hurt on the job, or have suffered at the hands of a negligent doctor, call me, Mike Grossfeld, at 888-8-LEGAL-6. That's 888-8-LEGAL-6. We'll fight for you.
Isn't it time for your family to have the services of a financial planner? Call Rob Weissman, a chartered financial consultant. Rob has provided financial planning, investments, and insurance products to the Baltimore community for over 24 years. Rob will provide a free consultation, review your financial positions, and make recommendations. He will monitor your financial plan on an ongoing basis. Call Rob Weissman, 410-653-6260. Rob Weissman is a registered representative of Salmon Security Company, member FINRA SIPC. Baltimore, listen up. If you want crabs, you have to head to the Costas Inn on North Point Boulevard. There is no comparison in all of Maryland for the greatest crabs and crab cakes ever. Costas also serves unbelievable steamed shrimp, Greek salads, and steaks for lunch and dinner. Nick, Pete, and Costas Triantopoulos run the perfect restaurant to go with family and friends. Give Costas Inn a call at 410-477-1975 and tell them that Terp Talk Guy sent you. Trust, honesty, integrity. That's the motto of Offit and Roth PA, certified public accountants and business consultants. Clients of Offit and Roth get personalized quality service that is beyond comparison. Check out their extensive list of services at www.offitroth.com. Co-founder Alan Roth and his son Michael, a Maryland graduate, have extensive experience working with clients in virtually every industry. Call Offit and Roth at 410-356-6600. There's no better place in Baltimore to buy your new or used car from than Coons Ford on Security Boulevard, across from Security Mall. Over the years, I have purchased many cars and trucks for GM Dennis Colatzos, receiving the best price, service, and comfort in dealing with a top-notch executive. Coons Ford Terp Talk listeners can view their inventory at CoonsFordBaltimore.com. Coons Ford carries a huge inventory of Motor Trend's Car of the Year, the Fusion, Hybrid Escapes, the 35-mile-per-gallon Focus, Mustangs, Expeditions, and of course the F-Series trucks. Coons Ford simply likes to make a little bit of money many times. What a great place to buy your new Ford. That's Coons Ford of Baltimore, 6970 Security Boulevard, across from Security Square Mall. Take exit 17 off of 695. Remember, when you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Call 410-298-3800.
Your first choice for filling prescriptions in the Baltimore area should be the James Pharmacy, a Health Mart pharmacy. As a Health Mart pharmacy, the James Pharmacy has a personal commitment to its communities, is locally owned, and the pharmacists know there is nothing more important than your family's well-being. Located for the last century at 1117 Light Street in Federal Hill, the James Pharmacy is owned and operated by Avi Pelta, a University of Maryland pharmacy school graduate. Though located in Federal Hill, the James Pharmacy delivers at no charge to the entire Baltimore metro area. Outside of Baltimore, no problem. The James Pharmacy will UPS your prescriptions on a moment's notice. Open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 3. Call the James Pharmacy, a Health Mart pharmacy, at 410-752-5810. Remember, Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
This is Joe Locascio. You're listening to Terp Talk with Bruce Posner.
Welcome back to Coons Ford Terp Talk. Call 410-481-1300 now. Once again, here's Bruce Posner.
All right, welcome back to segment 2 of Coons Ford Terp Talk, and I had a feeling this guy was going to call tonight. Recently back from a little vacation, my good buddy, Mr. Blatt. Blatt, how are you?
Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Well, it started this afternoon when I got a phone call from one of my younger sons who said, "You're not going to believe this one." Seth, and by the way, I have not heard too much of the show, but I have a lot of concerns when he told me that the rumor is that Seth Allen and Charles Mitchell will be transferring. Okay. I don't know if it's true or not, but if it is, when you lose 50% of your lineup within 2 weeks, there's something wrong with the situation, okay? I've never been a big backer of Turgeon since he was hired. I really, I hate to say, I really miss Gary Williams. Maybe he'll come out of retirement, but there's got to be a problem.
Boy, I'm gonna get that on tape and play it for Gary, okay?
Please, I love him. And the older I get, the more I miss him. How's that?
Okay.
There's definitely, and you would know more than me because I'm on the periphery. I've been out of town all winter, but I am not happy with the situation. Last year was the first time in 30 years that I had no desire to go to a Maryland basketball game. First time. And you know, you and I used to sit up in a balcony with seasons tickets back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Then, of course, you got very involved with the program, and thank God for that. But there is definitely a situation here with Mr. Turgeon where these guys do not forget about playing for him. They don't even want to be on the same team. And I don't know if I don't care who he's bringing in, because evidently a year from now they're going to leave. He's had his shot. I don't blame him as much as I blame the athletic director for signing these guys to the type of contract that you can't buy them out. It's just too expensive. So I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Like I said, I'm not a Mark Turgeon fan. I'm not taking anything away from him as a person. He may be wonderful, but he hasn't shown me anything on the court in 3 years. There were 4 games last year that I know Gary would have won and you would have been in the tournament. And I hate to say it, but it's very true, and I'm not going to name them. I just been left at a loss as far as his coaching techniques, and evidently so are the players. And I'm going to listen to you now because it's always a pleasure to hear you.
All right, Bobby, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Listen, here's my take. Everybody knows I'm a Turgeon guy, and I like him. Yeah, there's a problem. There's no doubt. When you lose this many players, there's a definite problem. And I don't know that he's lost Seth Allen yet, and I don't know that he's lost Charles Mitchell yet. But if he does, it's a tremendous loss, and it's almost like when I talked about Faust and Roddy Peters and Clear, the loss of these guys leaving does not set a good tone on the program. In other words, why would you want to leave? There's more to school than there's more to like being on the team. There's about the school, about the reasons you came to Maryland. Obviously, these guys are only, possibly only coming for basketball or whatever. But that being said, it is disappointing probably to him more than anybody else that Maryland has not made the dance. And that's the bottom line to me. But when you see these guys leaving, it raises doubts in your mind. Has he, look, we don't know what it is. Maybe he recruited the wrong kids. Maybe he missed on talent. Maybe he's not getting along with them. But the guy has won elsewhere. The guy has been successful elsewhere. It's not like he doesn't have a track record that's positive. So, and he recruits his butt off. I don't know anybody who works any harder. And I'm going to continue to give him a chance. But, like with all patients and all Terrapin fans, time is running and the clock is ticking, and we can't keep missing the dance. And when you lose these players, the perception is so bad as to why they're leaving, whatever the reason is, it is, but it is not a strong perception. And certainly the length of the contracts plays into it somewhat. I don't know. All right. I don't have a good answer right now, except to know that I, like every other Terrapin fan, is upset and would be very upset if Seth Allen left, as well as Charles Mitchell, because these guys are strong players. But I guess it remains to be seen. Let me get out to the phone right now, and my good buddy Dennis Kalatzis. Dennis, there's storms out in Terrapin land, buddy.
Yeah, man, it's not liquid sunshine either.
No, it really isn't. And now you got too much liquid sunshine today, don't you?
Yep, unless you're a fish, you're not liking it too much.
Listen, while I got you on the phone, I want to change topics for a second. The Ravens published 5 prospects that could fall to them in the draft. Tell me if this is the case and if they would take any one of these. Taylor Lewin from Michigan, the offensive tackle. Eric Ebron, we all know about him, the middle linebacker. C.J. Mosley from Alabama. Darqueze Dennard from Michigan State. And Clinton Dix. Is it possible these guys could fall?
It's possible, but not probable. I think Dennard will be there. But we don't need a corner. It's not a priority. They've got Asa Jackson from last year coming back. We also have Shucky Brown. So it's not a need pick. Clinton Dix, if he's there, you have to take him. He's that center fielder that you're looking for to get the team off the field on third down. He's game ready. Probably has reached the ceiling like most Bama players before they come out, but a definite need. Ebron, the best tight end by far in his class, compares favorably with Vernon Davis, the Maryland grad, of course, who's doing a great job with the Niners. If he's there, he'd be very attractive to take. Taylor Lewan, you have to take. The guy is a right tackle. He's also your future left tackle. You have to make that pick. And who are we missing? C.J. Mosley, I don't think so. He's got a history of injuries with Alabama. We have 2 starting middle linebackers. But I see a scenario where they trade back with the 49ers. In fact, I published my mock draft on April 28th, my 4.0 version, and I do have a trade back with the 49ers where they take Jimmy Ward, who was number 30, the free safety out of Northern Illinois, and pick up an extra pick, the 56th of the second round. And now, Bruce, all of a sudden, there's a rumor out there that the 49ers are talking to the Ravens about trading up. Wonder where that came from.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It could be a Colossus scoop, all right? Or maybe a Colossus suggestion.
I'm keeping this draft up there. Well, it makes sense. It's a very deep draft, and especially these 5 guys are gone. It does make sense to trade back, pick up an extra pick in that deep draft in the second round. Maybe you take a Juwan James out of Tennessee and start a right tackle. Allen Robinson, the wonderful wide receiver out of Penn State. But if you go to SundaySportsVoice.com, you'll see my mock draft, and it makes sense to me.
All right, check that out, SundaySportsVoice.com. Dennis's draft, super expert on it. It's also an expert on selling new Fords. How's it going over there, Dennis?
It's going well. We're closing a month out today. We'll be here until 9, 10, 11 o'clock midnight. How it goes in the last day of the month, making last-minute deals as we chase market share. And again, the business is phenomenal. The Ford Escape was the one that you're driving, doing real well for us. The F-150, the Fusion's taken off like wildfire, and we also have a lot of late model trade-ins that people are trading in. Just phenomenal vehicles that we have. Great selection.
And I want to thank Dennis for talking me off the bridge after Maryland lost to Notre Dame the other day. I was pretty upset, wasn't I?
Well, yeah, I can hear it in your voice. I can feel your pain, and it was a very tough loss. No question about it. Yeah, it was a brutal loss, so we'll talk about that in the next segment. But, Dennis, thanks a lot for checking in, my friend. My pleasure. Go Terps and go Ravens. All right. That, of course, is Dennis Colossus. And now we'll take a few seconds. Taylor Cummings was unbelievable in this ACC championship for Maryland. She did not get the MVP. It went to Brooke Griffin, who had untold amount of goals. But they talked to Taylor Cummings after the game. Do you have that up, Tish? Okay, it'll be 1 second. Go ahead.
Taylor, you guys were able to, from the onset, just as you've done in every single game, control the tempo early. Was that emphasis in the scouting report today?
Yeah, Syracuse is a great team, and we know that they like to push the fast break and really possess it. So I'll start with the draw, and I think we all did a great job of coming off the 30s, and Aaron and Beth did an amazing job on the circle. And once we got the draw, I think we were able to kind of play our way and play our tempo. And, we all did a fabulous job on that, and I think that was really what helped us win.
Focus and the composure and the chippiness out in the field. Sometimes the defense also goes untouted for you guys. How much was the defensive spurt to the attack this afternoon?
Oh, we've worked on our defense for the past couple of weeks, and we've just gotten so much better as a unit. And I think today we proved exactly what Maryland defense was, and we were there. We helped each other out. We really, stood next to each other and didn't let our team down. And I think our defense sparks our offense all the time. So once we made a big stop on defense and Abby made a great save, we were able to run it down and play our way on the offensive end.
Well, Taylor, the movement of this team from youth to veterans, it's kind of expected as you put on a Terp uniform. There wasn't a hitch this year, and maybe even a stronger unit from a year ago?
Every year is different, and last year we had a great team, but this year we have an amazing team too, and I think we're just all such good friends off the field that on the field it kind of makes us work even better.
In Taylor Cummings' 4 years in high school and her 2 years in college, she has lost 2 games. All right. Taylor Cummings, of course, is from McDonough. And the one thing I loved about this game is Gary Gate brought out his players from Syracuse, really playing roughhouse style of lacrosse, women's lacrosse. And Kathy Reese was able to keep her girls' composure in line. And I think this led to a somewhat easy victory for them. Kathy Reese was interviewed after the game.
Game, and we wanted to step out and just remember that we're out here to play Maryland lacrosse in our style, and we can't let anything else faze us or bother us. And they did that. They came together. They played well together. They executed on offense. They helped each other out on defense, and we're getting to celebrate this moment right now.
Celebrate the moment, and we would be remiss without saying that the legacy that Maryland lacrosse is leaving in the ACC will be very hard to pass in the future.
Well, it's definitely an emotional game, and it's emotional for me. This has been everything I've known, so this is quite an exciting game amongst my team. Just going to really enjoy this.
Kathy, enjoy it with your team.
All right, and that, of course, is from the ACC Network, who played the Maryland game on television, actually also from ESPN3. All right, let's head out to our second break. We come back, talk some more hoops, so we're going to talk some Maryland lacrosse. and the Maryland ACC have agreed about trying a mediator to settle a lawsuit. We'll discuss that a little bit too. So we'll see you in a few minutes here on CBS Sports Radio 1300. The Bagby Restaurant Group presents 1010. That's 1010 Restaurant on 1010 Fleet Street, 410-244-6867. This is Southern style cooking. It's a great atmosphere, a great bar, great Sunday brunches, and I want to tell you, the food is off the charts. Blake Smith and his family really know how to present food in a restaurant. It is super, just like Bagby's Pizza is. That's 1010 Restaurant on 1010 Fleet Street, 410-244-6867. Billy Shriver and Terry Aronson's Tark's Grill in Green Springs Station has taken the town by storm. Everyone says the food is superb. Great salads, burgers, and steaks, and the seafood dishes are beyond expectation. At Tark's, the menu includes everything from light fare on up. Once you go, you will fall in love with the food and fun atmosphere and the reasonable pricing of this upscale restaurant. Call 410-583-TARK for reservations. When it's time to sell your house in the Baltimore area, there is no one better in the entire region than Harriet Wasserman and her entire marketing group. Harriet and her Prudential team are synonymous with sales success. The Wasserman team understands every facet of selling your house in this market. Call 410-458-5300 or check out their website at www.wassermanteam.com. Call Harriet Wasserman 410-458-5300.
If things in your life are looking blurry, there's only one place to go to see straight again, and that's Levin Eye Care. Dr. Howard Levin and Dr. Richard Levin, both University of Maryland alums, have 35 years of combined experience in serving the eye care needs of their patients. With 2 great offices in Perry Hall and Parkville, these doctors can address any concerns about your vision. Call 410-529-1950 to set up an appointment. Levin Eye Care accepts most medical insurance, including Medicare.
The Baltimore Neurosurgery and Spine Center, whose goal is to provide the highest quality of care to our patients. We strive to apply leading-edge treatment strategies, including complex spine or brain surgery, interventional pain management, and physical therapy. The group is led by Dr. Ira Goranczyk, who is joined by Dr. James Conway, Dr. H. Christopher Lawson, Dr. James Frazier in the field of neurological and spine surgery. Dr. Seth Kaufman specializes in interventional pain management. Baltimore Neurosurgery and Spine Center is located at 5051 Greenspring Avenue. Call them for an appointment at 410-664-3680. That's 410-664-3680. There's no better place in Baltimore to buy your new or used car than Coons Ford on Security Boulevard, across from Security Mall. Let's talk Coons pre-owned certified used cars. All of our listeners can buy with confidence. Coons Ford of Baltimore has an exclusive 7-day exchange policy. If for any reason whatsoever customers want to exchange a vehicle within 7 days, no problem. Coons Ford simply likes to make a little bit of money many times. That is why they take a lot of time to make sure we have the lowest priced pre-owned vehicles on the web. When our listeners go to our website, CoonsBaltimoreFord.com, they will see all of the outstanding values we have to offer. That's Coons Ford of Baltimore, 6970 Security Boulevard, across from Security Square Mall. Remember, when you're talking cars, you're talking Coons.
Call 410-298-3800.
Dr. Gaber and Associates is more than an internal medicine practice. Both offices are completely equipped with physical therapy services, run by an experienced staff of registered physical therapists, Elliot Weiner, Mark Smearman, and Ken Miller. They treat arthritis, sports, auto or work injuries, post-op conditions, and more. After an initial evaluation, a treatment program is individualized and can include modalities such as neuromuscular re-education, ultrasound, muscle stimulation, traction, work conditioning, and balance training. Don't forget it's flu season, and flu shots are now recommended for all age groups, including healthy, low-risk persons. And there's more. Dr. Gaber's practice does not have the dreaded voicemail. You will always talk to a friendly staff member. So if you are in need of a private physician, call 410-986-4400 for Dr. Gaber's office at 341 Calvert Street, and 410-653-8840 for the office at 1838 Green Tree Road in Pikesville. Easy parking at both locations. The therapy office is open Saturdays 9 to 1, and Dr. Gaber accepts nearly all insurances.
Celebrate spring with 105.7 The Fan at the 47th Annual Towson Spring Festival and Fabulous Food Festival, May 3rd and 4th. All brought to you by Chrysler, imported from Detroit.
This is Matt Rambo. You're listening to Terp Talk with Bruce Posner.
This is Coons Ford Terp Talk. Call 410-481-1300 now. Once again, here's Bruce Posner.
Superior Tours and the Coleman Brothers, $32 to the Trop or Caesars Palace in Atlantic City. You get $30 back. It only costs you a deuce. $63 round trip to New York City for a one-day trip. That's up and back in the same day. Only $63, less than a train ride one way. 410-602-1704. That's Mark and Jeffrey Comans, the Comans Brothers. Great guys to deal with, and that's Superior Tours. Once again, 410-602-1704. All right, I said that we were going to get to a little bit of men's lacrosse, and then we'll talk a little bit of hoops to wind up the show. And on the phone right now is my buddy from Boca, Freddie. How are you today, Freddie?
Hello, Bruce Posner.
All right. Freddie, all right. Maryland wins the face-off battle 10-3. Maryland wins the ground ball battle 30-14. How in the world do you lose that game to Notre Dame?
Reminds me of something that I think that Dr. Henry Lee said on the O.J. Simpson murder trial. Something very, very wrong here. When a team dominates that much, when the face-offs and ground balls, and it's 5-5 in the last minute, it just, again, I think it goes back to the inexperience and the lack of chemistry with the young freshmen and the young team that Maryland has to really, they're not gelling
offensively,
not at all. And I tell you, I was a little upset the way they sat on the ball and then got the time clock put on the last 40 seconds of the game. I thought at that point, because they're having such difficulty scoring, take the minute and a half they had and run an offense and just score as fast as you can.
It's funny. You saw the fifth goal they scored to take the lead, which was a beautiful play. It was 3 interior passes and almost to an empty net. They win that next face-off. Michael Earhart gets the ball, and boom, a whistle blows. Maryland loses the ball. Had they held that ball, a game could have been over. There was a push into the crease. There was an obvious slash. The calls didn't go their way, but you can't blame it on that. They had the ball probably 75% of the game and just could not find a way to score. They better straighten it out quick.
Well, you hope they could turn it around. I think you should temper your expectations because it's not that easy. I mean, somewhat of an example that's parallel. If you look at Kentucky's basketball team, all freshmen. Obviously, the basketball you play many more times than lacrosse, but it took the Kentucky team almost half a year for them to finally change the offense to simplify it for the team to gel. So it just takes time when you have young players.
Very good. You know what, Freddie? That happens to be an excellent analogy, and although people will say, what's he talking about? Kentucky had 5 of the 10 best players in the country coming out of college. Maryland had probably 4 of the 10 best coming out of college for lacrosse. And it is comparative, and they just have not, when they play the bad teams, they just stand up and just destroy them. But when they're faced with, defenses that prepare for them, it's just not there yet. And it might have been too, they get all these number 1 ratings during the season, and I think it does build your hopes up a little bit more than maybe it should have because of the freshman situation.
Well, it just takes time. It takes time, for the guys to learn each other well, and also to expand their game, because a lot of these guys have 1 or 2 main moves they used in high school and use their skill and athletic ability to get by lesser players. When you step up the next level, you're playing against better athletes and better skilled players.
All right, real quick on the Wizards, and we'll talk some Maryland hoops to wrap things up. You and me were not surprised that they easily beat the Bulls. I mean, to me, they were so much better. It was a joke. The matchup was there.
I think when we spoke before the series, I picked the team on the Saturday show. I said the Bullets, the Wizards. Well, they're the Bullets.
They're the Bullets. They'll always be the Bullets.
They're a nice team. First of all, they have 3-4 guys that could take over a game. so they're not dependent on one player. And then they can take over. Wall, Beal, Reezy. They have a nice the guy from Clemson, Booker.
Trevor Booker.
He's very productive, tremendous energy. You have Andre Miller, a veteran who's a very settling influence and very capable to run the offense when Wall's out. You have Gooden came in, gave you some quality minutes. Gortat's really a nice player, inside, outside. And the great thing about this team, they're very unselfish. Everybody passes the ball, they move the ball, they can run, they can play half court, and they're getting better. It would not surprise me if this team can make it to the finals because they have the inside game, the outside game, athleticism, and they're peaking.
Hey, well put, and let's give some kudos to Ernie Grunfeld for putting this team together after like 12 years and not being able to do a thing.
You know, Ernie's contract runs out this year. It's perfect timing for Ernie.
He'll be gone.
He'd be on Dolphin Street at unemployment.
Yeah, well, good for Ernie, good for the Wizards. I love Randy Whitman. The team looks great, and they're fun to watch again. The Maryland and the ACC agree about trying a mediator to settle a lawsuit. It seems to me like it's not going to be a $52 million settlement. How about you?
No, it seems, well, it's not binding what the arbitrator, decides, but usually in cases like this, they look for a fair settlement for both sides, and I think they'll get this out of the way within the next couple months.
Yeah, I think that they need to just close the door on this because this will linger on. And I think that Maryland's comeback with lawsuits against the ACC help them out a little bit. I mean, they took that strong defense. All right, Freddie, I'm going to give you your opportunity to weigh in on the rumors of Seth Allen and Charles Mitchell potentially leaving the program. I don't know if you were able to hear the first couple segments, but that's been basically what we've been talking about, and I know you have some opinions on it. Go ahead.
Well, where there's smoke, there's usually fire, particularly with this team. During the season, we heard Faust was going to transfer. He transferred. There was talk maybe Shaq would leave. Shaq left. Didn't remember hearing anything about Roddy Peters, but he's gone. Spinelli seemed to take a parallel move to BC, even though he's from that area. It didn't seem like a step up in a lot of ways.
Seems like a step down to me, Freddie.
What's that?
Seems like a step down to me.
Might be. A lot of people think maybe he's just jumping ship that's sinking, and thinking could be possibly that the team has missed the playoffs, the NCAA tournament the last 3 years. They don't make it next year. A lot of people feel Turgeon will be gone, which means Spinelli will be gone. So this gives him probably a little bit more money and a little more security going up to BC. And he's from BC, which a lot of guys like to go back home. With Allen and Mitchell, this could be just rumors. It could be they're unhappy with the team, considering all the changes that have gone through the last couple of years. It could be something else. It could be, it could be grades. It could be suspension from school for violation of, school rules. Don't know what it is. If they leave, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, but Freddie, you lose depth. I think it is a big deal. I think that, when you lose guy, I know you're not a big fan of Seth Allen.
I think I'm not a big fan. I think that most people make him to be a better player than what he is. To me, what he is sort of like an instant offense kind of guy I would use off the bench. He's shown he's not a point guard. As a shooting guard, he definitely improved his outside shot this year, but he's still inconsistent. He doesn't play really good defense. He doesn't make players around him better. He can get hot, but again, the inconsistency takes away from his effectiveness overall. Chuck Mitchell gives you a lot of energy, is very good against smaller teams inside. He's got some nice inside post moves. Other than that, he can't put the ball on the floor. He can't shoot from more than 3 feet away from the basket. He's not that good of a defensive player. He's very limited in his skills.
Don't you find it unusual, though, that Seth Allen almost comes in and out of the game when he ever wants to? In other words, it seems to me that I can't imagine why he'd want to leave. I mean, you go to another school, Freddie. First, you got to sit out a year, and then you don't know when the Melo Trimble comes in. You don't know when a guy comes in, and you might not find any time. He's Turgeon's first recruit. He's Turgeon's guy. I can't imagine why he would leave.
Well, again,
we don't know why. I agree with you.
You don't know. You don't know if it's just guys are bailing out of a sinking ship. There's a lot. When you have a losing team, also, you usually find a lot of dissension, a a lot of arguments, a lot of backstabbing. When winning teams, you don't see it that much because you're winning. But when you lose, everybody blames somebody else.
Yeah, but you'd rather have Seth Allen and Mitchell stay on the team than leave.
I would use them both off the bench. I mean, to me, neither one's really a starter, but they do add depth. And again, when I said before, it's a great loss. It's been a very, very selfish team, and you just might be better off just starting over with young players and try to build a team that moves the ball and shares the ball, and concerned about the team's performance rather than your personal performance.
Could be. I mean, it's, I don't believe it's a sinking ship. I do believe that if those guys stay or if they could be replaced, if they do leave with strong fifth-year guys who maybe are those senior graduates who have a year left like Logan Ehrenholt, I think the team will be good. But, the thing that bothers me a lot, Freddie, and we've talked about it ad infinitum, is that, wow, when you put all this pressure on freshmen, you really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there were times this year that Kentucky looked like a horrible team. I mean, they were horrendous. They lost to South Carolina. They lost games that were beyond belief. Why? Because it was all freshmen. It just takes time, and if you're starting
with that team, Calipari had to go in and simplify the offense. Once they simplified the offense, the Harrison brothers started to improve. I mean, the Harrison brothers were horrible the first half of the year.
Yeah, they weren't horrible at the end, though. They were great.
I wouldn't say they were good. They played well. I mean, what's it, Andrews' a shooter or Aaron?
Aaron's a shooter.
I mean, he made 3 games where he made winning baskets. In those games, though, overall, he didn't have great games, but he did make the money shots, but their overall play was much more improved.
Yeah.
But again, when you have all those young players, it takes time for them to gel as a team, and takes time for them to adjust to the speed and the quality of players when you move up a level.
There's no doubt, and that's why I really don't want to see the guys leave. I hope that if they're thinking about it, and obviously there's, like you said, where there's smoke, there's fire. They are. I hope Turgeon can turn them around, both of them. But, it's just every time we hear a name, it turns out to be the case. But that about says it all. Freddie, thanks a lot for checking in today, my friend.
All right, Bruce, stay dry. It's 85 and sunny here. So.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for that info. That is going to just about do it. You got a couple minutes left. I just want to review what's happening this week. Maryland plays Navy, all right, at College Park. That is Saturday at high noon. And, of course, the women and the men will wait out Selection Sunday to see where they're going. I do believe that Maryland will be the number 1 seed in the women's bracket. I think the men will be 6 or 7. Really doesn't matter. It would be nice to be number 1. You might get an easier game, but somehow or another, it seems like they're going to be earmarked to play Albany because they've played everybody else. So that would be a lot of fun catching the Thompson brothers or the Thompson family for Albany. And it's not going to be an easy road. Right now, they're lined up against UVA to get into the Final Four. I'm not selling Maryland short right now. I'm really not. I do believe there's something there that Tillman's got a couple weeks to try and change this offense or put it together. But I will say this, if Mike Chanichuk's ankle is not better, Maryland's chances to get that national championship that I'm just foaming for are greatly, greatly minimized. They need Chanichuk. They need that senior, in his case, a super senior in the 6th year. But they need that leadership that he provides. They have it on defense with Nico Amato and Michael Earhart, but they need it on offense with Michael Chanichuk. And believe it or not, that was a fast hour, Tish, I have to tell you. It sped by. I sure hope, stay tuned on TerpTalk.com. We'll be giving you updates as to what's happening with the 2 players, and I sure hope that they both decide to stay. I think it would be a great loss for Maryland. But as of now, there's no letters, there's nothing been done, and we shall see what happens. Again, Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, we got Terp Talk DC on 1580, our sister station in Washington. And we also have the Sports Maven at 9 o'clock. And once again, next Wednesday, we'll be back on Terp Talk. And remember, check out regularly TerpTalk.com. It's free. You can subscribe to it. You get it every morning, or you can just go to the site. We got replays of shows, lots of stuff, and I think you'll really enjoy it. And that'll about do it for today. This is Bruce Posner signing off, and we'll see you next Wednesday here on Coons 4 Terp Talk.
Video gamers, save $10 off general admission tickets today to the region's only video gamer event, Video Gamers United, coming to the DC Convention Center August 16th and 17th. If you're hooked on Candy Crush, Words with Friends, and Minecraft, then don't miss the gaming event of the year. This event is the size of 4 football fields, jam-packed with amazing games and activities for the whole family, including a costume contest. Save $10 off each ticket today. Go to vgu.eventbrite.com. That's vgu.eventbrite.com before this offer is gone.
Kelly Exchange is your one-stop shop for individual and family health insurance coverage. On kellyexchange.com, you can learn about healthcare reform, find out if you qualify for a subsidy, get quotes, compare insurance plans, and purchase coverage. With over 36 years of experience in the insurance industry, kellyexchange.com is the only website you need to help you navigate the complexities and confusion of healthcare reform and purchase quality insurance for you and your family. Visit kellyexchange.com today. Cunningham's, part of the Bagby chain, the newest restaurant in town at One Olympic Place in Towson. Free valet parking, open every night. The food there is fantastic. I've been there. Decor, the whole atmosphere at Cunningham's is super. I highly, highly recommend it. But of course, when it's part of the Bagby chain and the Smith family, you know it's going to be a success. 410-339-7730. That's Cunningham's at One Olympic Place in Towson. The Comans Brothers in Superior Tours. $32 to either the Trop or Caesar's Palace, and you get $30 back. It only costs you a deuce to go to AC. $63 round trip to New York City for a one-day trip. You got to go and come back the same day, but it only costs $63. You can't beat that. 410-602-1704. That's Superior Tours and the Comans Brothers. 410-602-1704. Mark Abman and Abman's Delicatessen have been serving Baltimore for over 81 years. It's just a fact that Abman's, open 7 days a week at 1019 East Lombard Street, has the best corned beef and deli in town. But now they've expanded into the catering side. Have a Lombard Street party or use Abman's for your condolence trays. Check it out on abmansdeli.com or call 410-563-2666 and ask for Elaine. I love Abman's Deli. This season, the 2013 champion Bayhawks and Lexus are giving away an ES350 to one lucky season ticket holder at the last game of the season. Every season ticket purchase will amount to one entry into the giveaway. 2014 season tickets are available and going fast. Call the box office at 866-99-HAWKS or visit us at www.thebayhawks.com to purchase your seats to all the action today. The season kicks off May 3rd at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Don't miss out. The newest of the 3 Bagby restaurants has just opened, and everyone is raving about Fleet Street Kitchen. Fleet Street Kitchen specializes in an organic menu, and all of its food comes locally or from nearby areas. The veggies are all from Cunningham Farms. Blake Smith and his dad, David, have created a magnificent trio of 3 adjacent restaurants. Bagby's Pizza's 1010, and now on 1012 Fleet Street, the Fleet Street Kitchen. Call 410-244-5830 for a reservation, and remember, there is free valet parking on weekends.
Access Title Company, LLC, brings to you experience, relationship, and peace of mind. All great reasons to choose Access Title Company as your residential and commercial real estate settlement company. Choosing a reputable, experienced title company is crucial to a smooth settlement process. Our staff of attorneys and experienced personnel is committed to helping you through the complete process with personal attention, competitive rates, and prompt service. Access Title Company goes anywhere in the state of Maryland to perform your settlement at no additional cost to you. That's why we're Access Title. Please call Melanie, our operations manager, at 410-363-8785 for additional information. That's Access Title Company at 410-363-8785.
It's my pleasure to welcome the Supreme Neighborhood Market, Gourmet Again, to the TerpTalk family. Now under the new ownership of Andy Huffman, Gourmet Again on 3717 Old Court Road continues its tradition of being a specialty food market with all meals, soups, and sandwiches being homemade. My family and all of Northwest Baltimore knows that Gourmet Again is the best market around. Let Gourmet Again cater any party or special occasion that you are having. I absolutely love Gourmet Again. Call 410-484-9393. Gourmet Again is open 7 days a week. Visit them on the web at gourmetagain.com. The phone number, once again, 410-484-9393. That's Gourmet Again.
The opinions expressed in the preceding paid program do not necessarily represent those of WJZ AM 1300, CBS Radio, its employees and sponsors. CBS Sports Radio 1300 is WJZ AM Baltimore, WJZ FM HD3 Catonsville, Baltimore. Live sports talk 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your home for the new CBS Sports Radio.